Today we're diving into the essential tools that are going to get you started on your painting journey. So I know the feeling when you walk into an art shop and it's full of shelves of really exciting looking brushes, but where do you start? Well, I'm going to show you what all of the brushes do. First of all, the real workhorse in my painting kit is these synthetic flats. A flat brush with a nice square edge. I'm working with oil paint, so I'm just going to show you this nice clean line that you can get from these synthetic flats. You can see a really nice crisp edge here, just as the paint's coming across. To give us something to work with here, I've got a reference here of my lovely friend Emma. And you can see these beautiful lines that I can create with this brush. It's really versatile. I've got some good blocks here, but I can also get down to some nice thin marks down here as well. And that for me is why this is such a winner. Now we're going to be moving on to these hog hair. So these are more bristly, they're much more textured. They show the paint on the paper or on your surface really nicely. Can you see the difference there, that it's pulling the paint in that really nicely textured way? I'm just going to use this now to go and explore a bit of the texture that's happening with Emma's hair. I'm just letting the brush push the paint about, so accidents are happening, like up here, which I'm enjoying very much. So they're great just to create something a little bit different, a little bit of texture. And that's what's going to make your painting interesting, having a bit of variety. You don't need to spend a lot of money on your brushes. This is actually just a cheap painter and decorator's brush from a DIY shop. You can see from this mark, it is still quite a nice chiseled square mark, but there's a lot less precision with it because you don't have that nice edge that you get with those lovely flat brushes. So I'll show you how it works in practice. So yeah, you can see I'm covering a lot of the area of this background, but the precision is a little bit off. I don't dislike it, but I wouldn't want to get too near anything too special. So there's a perfect time for a large brush, but there's also a really good time for a small brush. It's going to be holding a lot less paint, so if we make it across this sheet, it'll be a nothing short of a miracle. But I don't dislike this smudgy effect. So I find small brushes are really useful to use on the eyes, just particularly when you want to get a little bit more precision in without totally overdoing it. And a perfect brush for these very soft, fleshy areas on the face is a filbert. As you can see, it's got a kind of smooth edge at the top. So before we've been working with that very kind of abrupt, flat angle, but this is something a little bit softer. And already you can see that starting edge. It's got a lot more softness to it here from the previous harder edges that we were using. And it's perfect shape for that nostril. That filbert can just get right in, make that really nice soft feel to that nose. I'm also going to use it for the lips, because again, I don't want it to be too harsh. It's time to bring our other friend around to the party. It doesn't differ massively from the filbert, but the round has the benefit you can really move it around the page. Look at that very enjoyable squiggle. With a lot of my paintings, I do quite enjoy doing a sort of feature ear. I think you can have a bit of fun with an ear. I'm going to put some really nice bold colour in. Before we leave the brushes, we're going to invite some special friends to the party. These are sort of guest brushes, so the kind of ones that would be tricky perhaps to do a whole painting of them, but they are quite fun to use. We've got this rigger brush, which is really good to kind of go back in and maybe do some fine line work. So can you see that really nice line that you're getting? This is one of my favourites as well. It's a smushing brush. I'm not going to dip it in any paint, and in fact it's super dry, very soft indeed. A bit like a blusher brush, which would probably work just as well. And can you see, just get these nice soft transitions. So now I think we're fully done with our brushes. Something that can be really handy, and most of us have got to hand, is like an old credit card or something that you can use just to scrape back a bit of the paint, maybe making a more interesting mark. So I'm just going to just quickly look at this ear that I've done here, and I'm just going to see what happens if I do this. Ha! I love it. I'm also going to use it just to slightly soften this back edge of the painting. As well as scraping off paint, you can also use it to apply paint. That's very satisfying. And this area here is a technical term called scumbling. And finally, instead of mixing paint with palette knives, you can also use them really effectively to apply paint. So it's going to be a drier situation. You use way more paint, but you do get some really exciting abstract effects. So I'm going to show you how you can use this in a painting. Just create some nice, sort of knitted feeling texture, which is going to work in really nice contrast to the smoothness of her skin. And that's what it's all about, finding the right tool for what you want it to do. So hopefully what you've seen is that there is no such thing as a magic brush. I wish there was one brush that could just do everything for you, but you're going to have to work a bit harder and find the ones that you really like to do the job that you need it to do. So I hope you feel inspired to give it a go. Go and experiment and find the tools that work for you.